A masked gang, millions in jewels, a reality star tied up at gunpoint. Inside Kim Kardashian's harrowing testimony as she faces, for the first time, the men accused of orchestrating one of the most brazen celebrity robberies in modern history. In a Paris courtroom, Kim Kardashian broke down as she relived the night masked intruders stormed her luxury hotel suite. It happened during Fashion Week in 2016. Who else was called to testify in this high-profile robbery case? Kim's bodyguard at the time. Why was he not there that night? I'm Kristin Thorne, and this is In Touch Investigates. Kim Kardashian told a judge in Paris that the men who robbed her 9 years ago left her traumatized for years. She told the judge what happened that night, how she was in her hotel suite in her bathrobe, about to go to sleep, when she heard boots pounding up the stairs. The door flew open. The men tied her hands, taped her mouth shut, and held a gun up to her. She begged them to take everything, just not to kill her. The thieves did take everything, making off with millions of dollars in her jewelry, including her $4 million engagement ring from her then hubby, Kanye West. 10 men were charged in carrying out the brazen heist. Investigators say they dressed up as police officers to get access to the hotel. The heist at the time rocked the celebrity world and raised serious questions about VIP security. Where was Kim's bodyguard, Pascal Duvier? He was across town, assigned to watch over Kourtney Kardashian at a nightclub. Kim's insurance company eventually sued both Duvier and his security firm for negligence. Now, years later, Duvier testified in the trial against the alleged robbers. Jerry Kroll represents Duvier. Jerry, so we know your client testified remotely for the trial. What did he tell the judge?
The presiding judge asked my client the question, well, what were your job duties? And Kim Kardashian was my client's client, but so was the family. And that night, and as he did other nights, he would bring her back to her room and make sure she was securely inside, because my client wasn't even staying at the same hotel.
Did Pascal tell the Kardashians he was going to be testifying?
Before he testified, he reached out to the family to let them know he would be testifying as a courtesy, because he still has good relations with them, and he really has great respect and admiration for the family.
Okay, so what else did he tell the judge?
One of the most important pieces of his testimony was when he got back to the hotel after this happened, and he goes into the hotel, he opens the door to the staircase, and there is the concierge handcuffed, key in his hand. And then he races upstairs to the room where Kim Kardashian is, and he opens the door, and his first visual is that Kim is hysterical, crying. And that became a really important point in the trial. In fact, when the Kardashians' lawyer cross-examined my client, they said, had you ever seen Kim Kardashian hysterically crying before? And the answer was no. In other words, this was like shock and awe, devastating experience. And for him to witness that and for her to go through it is something that you don't get over very easily.
I'm sure Pascal and you would say, look, let's focus on the criminals here, the people who are accused of doing this to Kim.
For anybody who was in a violent crime situation where you're violated, you have personally been violated, there has to be some type of sort of reconciliation where you kind of go full circle. And this is the completion of the circle now, where the people who did this to her are going to finally face justice. And I think that's the most important part of what we're talking about now. I think the important thing, my client feels this way, and I would think also the victims feel this way, is that we want to see the perpetrators face justice and have a conclusion to this that brings a closure to this horrible event.
Jerry Kroll, thank you so much for joining us. Kim told the men in the courtroom that she forgives them. Perhaps a not so subtle sign of that, she wore millions of dollars in jewelry to court. For more true crime news, be sure to subscribe to In Touch and follow us on all social media channels. For In Touch Investigates, I'm Kristin Thorne.